Hey guys, my name is Matt Bernardo. Welcome to my channel, Bernardo's Training. Obviously, this channel is about fitness, performance. If you're a man and you're over 30, this is going to be an important video for you. If you're trying to get in the best shape of your life, if you're trying to get lean, ripped, more athletic, more healthy, enjoy a better quality of life, stronger, all those good things, okay? If you're already a freak and you're super lean, ripped, athletic, you could probably tune this out because you're already there, okay? So this video is going to be basically about my 9-part framework that I use to help a lot of my clients get in really good shape, get in the best shape of their lives, become leaner, stronger, ripped, more athletic, move better, feel better, okay? So healthier. So it's in no particular order, and I'm not going to really dive into detail, like deep detail on all these, because each one of these topics, each one of these 9 things, you could really devote hours and hours and hours to. So I'm going to touch on them. I'm going to explain the basics about them, but I'm not going to like get too deep into the weeds on them, okay? And then as we go along here, I'm going to be making a lot more videos, so I will make a video on each one of these in more depth. And obviously I'll be having, videos on all sorts of things, but this is like my 9-part framework. It's very simple. I call it the Simple 9 or the S9 because they are really actually very simple. Most guys really struggle with these. I just did a video a couple days ago. I posted, so the video below this or above this, a lot of guys in their 30, when they get up over 30, they're still lifting weights because that's kind of what they did in high school, right? They lifted weights, maybe they played sports, they were in good shape, but you need more. Once you get to 30, you definitely need more. And so this is my framework that I use with people to get them in really good shape. Not people, men. This is for men specifically, over 30. All right, so the first one is going to be, let me just run down these first. Okay, so the physical ones, the fitness part of these are going to be steps, strength, sprinting, and stretching. Okay, very simple, obviously. The nutritional ones are going to be steak, sugar, and salt. Okay, so I got 3 things there to touch on, and that'll clean up a lot of people's issues with nutrition. And then the lifestyle ones are going to be sleep and sun. Now, nothing on this list is new. People have been talking about these forever. Most people really struggle with this stuff though, because maybe they do one, but not the rest. Or they do a couple, but they don't tie them all together, okay? So, number 1, steps. You gotta be trying to get about 10,000 steps a day, okay? You can, and you have to track it in the beginning. So, get yourself a pedometer, or you can use your phone. I prefer a pedometer. That's just, you can put it in your pocket, clip it on your pants, whatever you're gonna do, but you'll see how many steps you're taking in a day. From there, you could add, subtract, whatever you need to do. Obviously, most people aren't gonna be subtracting, but the point is, we need you to be getting upwards of 10,000 steps a day. If a lot of guys, if all you did was get more steps, if you got the 10,000 steps and clean up your diet, you would start to lose weight and you would start to feel better and get in better shape, right? Those are really the basics. So I think I did the math at one point, and the average guy walks about 2,000 steps in 20 minutes, which is about a mile, okay? So you do the math. If you did no other walking throughout the day, and you're gonna get a lot of steps in, going to work, blah, 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 going to the grocery store, going to the gym, if you're lifting weights, if you're playing basketball, all those types of things. So you need to figure all that out. But let's just say you did nothing else and you just walked straight up. That would be, you'd have to do, 2,000 times 5, or 20 minutes times 5 would be 100 minutes. So that'd be an hour and 40 minutes of walking. Okay, so it's really not as much as it seems. It seems very daunting in the beginning. If you have, let's say you figure out you have like 4,000 steps in a day, just bump it up to 6, okay? Get consistent at 6 and bump it up to 8. Get consistent at 8,000 and then bump it up to 10,000, okay? Now, I also figured out that 10,000 steps burns roughly 500 calories, I believe. So let's say you're not really doing much at all right now, and you add those 10,000 steps in a day, you're gonna burn 500 calories a day, times 7 days a week would be 3,500 calories, which is actually 1 pound of fat. So to burn 1 pound of fat, you need to be in a $3,500 caloric deficit. So if you change nothing else and just added 10,000 extra steps in a day, you're gonna burn 1 pound a week. You should mathematically lose 1 pound a week. All right, so let's move on. The next one's strength. Now, I'm not gonna really get that much into this because most guys are doing some type of strength training. They might not be getting any results because they're fucking it up, but you need to get good quality strength training in, and 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, that's about it. You don't need to do, it depends on your goals and what you like to do. If you're more into bodybuilding, obviously you do a little bit more. If you're more into other areas of fitness and playing sports and things like that, you could do a little bit less. But like 2 to 3 days a week is plenty for most guys over 30 for strength training, right? Most guys, even if they do, you could be going to the gym 5 days a week now. If you're fat and if you're not in great shape and you're going to the gym 5 days a week, what the fuck are you doing? We need to figure this out. The next one would be sprinting. So this one is a little tricky now, but sprinting, if I had to pick one form of exercise above anything else, and I'm 41, going to be 42 years old in June. So no excuses that you're too old and you can't do it. Anybody could pick it up. If you haven't been doing anything for 20 years, if you haven't sprinted, all you've done was lift weights, or you've just been doing nothing for 20 years, you need to start very gradually, okay? We cannot just jump into a full bore 3 days a week, 4 days a week of high intensity sprinting and stuff like that. So you got to start gradually. Now, some of the things that I do with my clients to start them gradually into sprinting would be, one would be start on a machine. So my favorite for that would be a spin bike. Okay, you don't have any chance of pulling muscles and injuring yourself on a spin bike. So you can blast out as hard as you can for 10, 15 seconds and then rest. And I give full recoveries. When you feel like you're ready to give another full effort, you can go again. Usually it's going to be multiple minutes. If you're sprinting on flat ground, on the grass, let's say, or the track, all out, you need to give yourself full recovery. And full recovery is 1 minute per 10 yards or 10 meters. So if you run 30 yard sprint, you need to have 3 minutes rest. Okay, full rest. This isn't a like run hard the first one, then run slower the second one, and even slower the third one because you're not resting enough. Okay, so the benefits of sprinting are, like, I can go on for hours with this, but number one, it's going to build and maintain lean muscle mass on you. So like if you are not that strong to begin with and you start sprinting, you're going to get stronger. If you're a really strong guy already, you're doing a lot of weightlifting and stuff, you're going to build them, you're going to maintain that strength level even if you stop lifting. So you're going to build and maintain lean muscle. You're going to have a better testosterone and growth hormone response from sprinting. You're going to get those, what the body does is, because it's so intense, it pumps in, you're going to get like a burst of hormones from the sprinting, similar to what you get when you're sleeping, and we'll go over sleep later. But that's another one. The third one is just you're working at such a high intensity that neurologically your nervous system is going to be enhanced because you're working at such a high intensity. So, and it's one of the most athletic things you could possibly do. Like, if you could sprint really fast, you could do anything. If you could sprint really fast, you can walk and you can jog. If you could sprint really fast, you can jump and play sports. So it's something to take pride in getting better at and being able to do. Now, everyone's not going to be a world-class athlete and sprinter, but like everybody can actually sprint and get better at it. Okay. The next one is going to be stretching. So this one is very individualistic in my opinion. So what I personally do is I try to like microdose my stretching. I definitely get at least 3 days of like 20 minutes of stretching in a week sessions. And then from there, like before I sprint or something like that, I do mobility work, a little bit, 10 minutes maybe. So like I'm getting in a bunch of it, right? Oh, to go back to the sprinting, 1 to 3 times a week, depending on where you're at, okay, physically. So these are all things you just need to kind of figure out. I don't know you, I don't know your situation, so I can't say blanket across the board, this is what to do, but it's gonna be 1 to 3 days a week. So steps, 10,000 every day. Strength, you're gonna do 2 to 3 times a week. Sprinting, you're gonna do 1 to 3 times a week. And stretching is gonna be very individualistic. So if you are stiff, you need to do it more often. I prefer more like frequent. If you're really tight, I prefer doing maybe like smaller, maybe 10-minute stretching sessions, 1 or even twice a day. When instead of watching TV, or while you're watching TV, you could be on the ground stretching, right? So like, there's really no excuses. The time excuse is bullshit. Everybody's watching a ton of TV. Everyone's scrolling on their phones. They could definitely find time to stretch. You can scroll on your phone while you're stretching. And then what you're stretching is going to be, again, that's going to be an individual thing. So the nutrition part of these is going to be steak, sugar, and salt. Okay, so number 1, steak. That's basically, to keep them all S's, that's why I put it in, but steak is the best thing for you to eat in terms of your protein. So you're going to be getting your body weight or your goal body weight in protein and grams of protein per day. And that's unprocessed, animal-based proteins. So that doesn't mean you're going to go and eat fried chicken, because that is processed, right? It doesn't mean lunch meat. Lunch meat is processed. Anything processed, anything with the ingredients in it other than what it actually is would be considered processed in my book. So you want to strive to eat, if you're 180 pounds and you want to stay around 180 pounds, then we want to get you 180 grams roughly of protein every day. So if you're eating 3 meals, that's 60 grams of protein per meal. How are you going to break that up? Well, most proteins, the palm of your hand minus your fingers. So look at your thickness, and the palm of your hand minus your fingers is going to be roughly 4 ounces of protein, which is going to give you roughly 25 ounces depending upon what you're eating. Most things have been 25 ounces. Steak is going to be 30 ounces. So you need to have 8 ounces of steak to get 60 grams of protein, right? Which makes sense because the math on steak would be 1 pound of steak is 16 ounces, which would be 100 grams of protein. So these are all just keeping it very simple. Again, these are called the simple 9 things. We're keeping it very simple. Other sources of protein could be any ruminant animal are going to be the best. Chicken you can eat, not as good as steak or bison, buffalo, deer, elk, all those things, but chicken would be like on that second level. Pork would be in that second level. Fish would be like second or third level. Anything animal based. So I like for snacks or to just add some extra protein, I like Greek yogurt. Raw would be best. It's hard to find raw Greek yogurt. Raw milk, cheese, raw cheeses are great, okay? The next one is going to be sugar. Now, sugar is just another way of saying carbohydrates. So unprocessed carbohydrates would be fruit, raw honey, raw dairy, raw maple syrup. Again, these are all unprocessed forms of being able to get your carbohydrates in. And the amount of carbs is going to vary depending on the person. This is where your activity level is going to come in. I can't blanket across the board on this. I'm going to say everybody should probably be around 100 grams at least, and then going upwards. So for me, I personally probably average 150 to 200 grams a day. I'm very active. I train people. I work out a lot. I'm doing all these things on this list. If you're more sedentary, we want to get you more active, but maybe you start at just 100 grams. And everyone's going to be a little different on these, so you can adjust them, right? It's going to be, you want to hit it and then adjust it when you need to. And then the last one on that list would be salt. Salt's been demonized. I'm not going to go into all the ways that salt has been demonized and all the arguments, against it and whatnot. But you need your body. It's a mineral, and your body needs it. And if you're not eating processed food, and the salt in processed foods, the sodium, and the MSG, that's not the salt that you want. You want good quality salts. When you buy the salt, you don't want to have Morton's table salt. You don't want it bleached. You want to have sea salt, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt. You want good quality salt. You can't have enough you can't have too much of it. Whatever you don't use, you'll pee out. If you don't have enough salt, what you're gonna do is all the water you drink, you're just gonna pee it right out. You're gonna strip your body of essential minerals. So make sure you're getting enough salt. Personally, I put salt in my water when I wake up. I put salt in my food. When it's hot outside in Florida here in most of the year, and I'm outside training and running sprints and stuff, I'm putting it in my water. I also could put honey in my water to give myself like a Gatorade. And again, that's going to keep you hydrated. So the combination of the salt, the fruit, the honey, those are going to really hydrate you. So now we're going to move on to the lifestyle part of this list. So this is number 8 and 9. And it's two very simple things. A quick word about the lifestyle stuff. This is the stuff that, like, after you master these 9 things, which you could spend the rest of your lifetime doing, then a lot of the things past that are going to be like a little bit more complex training or different lifestyle things to kind of optimize yourself, right? But for the most part, 99.9% of people are going to spend the rest of their lives trying to master the basics here, and it's this simple 9 list, right? So sleep and sun, right? So those 2 things, and they kind of go together because the sun is going to help optimize your sleep. Right, so I want everybody to sleep. I want all my clients to sleep at least 7 hours. Shoot for 8. 8's the goal, really. 8 quality hours of sleep is the goal. Some might be better with 9. And I don't want anyone to get under 7. Okay, you can get even more than that if you want, but like, you know, the average man over 30 is going to have a hard time probably getting more than 9 hours of sleep. So that's probably going to be the max for most people. But the sleep. The sun is going to set your circadian rhythms, which is going to optimize your sleep, which is going to in turn optimize your hormones. It's a cycle. And I talked a lot more about this in a previous video. I think it's called Why Men Over 30 lift weights and they're still fat. It's because they're not optimizing their hormones. And they're not really optimizing this list, really, is what it is. So, and then the sun, I recommend everyone to get at least 30 minutes in the sun. Now, granted, I get more than that. I live in Florida, South Florida. So, like, it's easy for me to get sun. I moved here from New Jersey. I lived most of my life, the first 40 years of my life in New Jersey. So, like, I understand that it's hard to get sun in the wintertime. But it's not just about getting, like, hot sun and sun tanning. That's not what we're really going for. You need to just be outside 30 minutes to an hour a day. The more you're outside, the better off you're going to be. So like the walking, the 10,000 steps, do them outside. Stop being babies and little bitches and having to be on a treadmill in the gym or an elliptical. Go outside and friggin' walk. Go outside, do your sprints. Go outside and lift weights and work out if you want, right? Even when I lived in New Jersey, I would go and run sprints a couple days a week, even if it was cold. And you know what? You feel better after you're done. It sucks because it's cold in the middle of January and February, but when you're done, you feel a lot better because you got outside, right? So that's the whole point of it. Now, ideally, you get outside and you're getting nice sun exposure on your chest, on your face, on your back, on your legs, and that's helping you absorb the vitamin D from the sun, which is very important for your immune system and for your hormones. Vitamin D is actually a precursor for a lot of your hormones. So the sun and being outside is going to help optimize your hormones. It's going to help you sleep better. And guess what? You only recover and repair when you're sleeping. And most of your testosterone is made when you're sleeping. And most of your HGH is made when you're sleeping. So you guys that are tired and that need testosterone therapies and you can't get boners and all this other shit, like try sleeping and getting outside. It might help you a lot. And that's basically it, guys. That's the list. That's the simple 9 things that I try to master with all my clients and myself. It's always a battle, right? It's never going to really get that easy. Over time, it gets easier. In the beginning, it seems a little daunting. But these 9 things are very simple, okay? I will do more videos on these more individually and do a little bit more of a deep dive in them. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're doing all these things and it's working for you, let me know. If you have any questions on these, post them in the comments. I try to answer most things in the comments. I mean, sometimes they just get ridiculous. You put a video out and everyone, they're commenting. I don't know what the hell they're commenting about. It's ridiculous. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel if you think I can help you. Again, if you're over 30 and you want to get in really good shape, you want to become more fit, more athletic, stronger, leaner, you want to get ripped, this is